The Jackass franchise has made approximately $497,149,836 at the box office from its 4 theatrical releases. But what about the cast members? We're going to take a look at just how much each of these movies profited and how much cast members got paid. To start, we have to jump back to 2002 with the release of the first Jackass movie. Jackass the movie had a budget of $2 million. To break even, though, we need to take into consideration marketing and distribution. This can come in at 2 or 3 times the production budget. So we'll meet at the middle at 2.5 times the budget. So in saying that, the movie had to make $5 million to break even. The first Jackass movie brought in a whopping $79 million worldwide at the box office, which is a profit of $74 million. And believe it or not, this was the second lowest profit of the 4 films that made it to theaters. Having the smallest profit margin was Jackass number 2. The second film had a bigger worldwide box office at $85 million, but it also had a larger budget at $11 million, with its break-even mark being $27.5 million. So taking that into consideration, the movie made a profit of $57 million. Even being the least profitable movie of the franchise, this is still a pretty penny. Jackass 3D had the biggest production budget of all films at $20 million, and also the highest box office numbers of the franchise at $171 million, making a profit of $121 million. And Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa had a budget of $15 million, and its worldwide box office numbers were $160 million, giving it a profit of $123 million, which makes it the most profitable movie of the franchise. Now, looking at the cast salary, though there doesn't seem to be a figure on what Johnny Knoxville has made in the Jackass franchise, his current net worth is estimated to be $75 million, which is a huge difference to fellow co-star Steve-O's estimated net worth being $2.5 million. Though it does need to be noted that Knoxville is a co-creator and producer of the films, so his salary will look a lot different than a cast member's. In a YouTube video Steve-O released in August 2019, Steve-O said he was paid quite poorly for the series that ran for 3 seasons before the films were released, stating that for a stunt that was genuinely life-threatening or dangerous, he would only get paid $500. And if it was a comedy skit, it was just $200, saying he made less than $1,500 for the entire first season of Jackass. He then got a bump in his salary, saying he was offered $2,000 per episode of season 2, which they expected to be picked up for 16 episodes. That was later split into 2 seasons of 8 and 9 episodes respectively. Similar to Johnny, it's unknown how much he made for the movies, but in an interview he did in 2011, he said it wasn't until the 3rd Jackass movie was there a back-end payment structure. A back-end payment deal is where the individual will receive a portion of the profits of the film. Steve-O did not mention what his portion of the back-end payment was, but he did say that there was an order that they would get paid out. At the top of that list being Johnny Knoxville, then Bam Margera, and then Steve-O. Steve-O's payments for the Jackass series even came to a head for the most recent movie, with him getting in a rift with Johnny Knoxville over a pay rise. Steve-O had felt over the past 10 years he had worked extremely hard to build momentum for himself and his brand, and he believed he had deserved more. Unfortunately, during negotiations, Steve-O, in his own words, blurted shit out during interviews that was counterproductive. Steve-O acknowledged that he handled the situation poorly and has since cleared the air with Johnny. Jackass Forever is releasing February 4th with a budget of $10 million and is looking to make at least $25 million to break even. Now, looking at the previous movies in the franchise, this number is very doable, but it may not be that simple. Taking into consideration that this movie is releasing a full 20 years after the first and 9 years after the last, this is targeting a brand new audience as well as it being released in the middle of a pandemic. Box office numbers are starting to look closer to 2019 figures, with Spider-Man No Way Home recently smashing the box office. But there does still seem to be hesitancy, especially with lesser known titles or titles that audiences aren't 100% sure they will enjoy. Audiences are instead opting to wait till films are released on streaming networks. So far in 2022, only 3 movies have reached $25 million, being Sing 2, Scream, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Out of these 3 movies, only Scream was actually released in 2022. So now, we have to wait and see if this movie is something audiences are interested in spending their money on at the theaters. Prank media has seen a downfall in recent years, especially on online media, particularly due to demonetization issues on platforms such as YouTube. But in saying that, there seems to have always been a market for this kind of genre. There are plenty of prank stunt videos popping up on platforms that aren't so restrictive, like TikTok, and wrestling shows like WWE WWE are still going strong. So, will you be seeing Jackass in theaters? Or will you wait to watch it when it's more accessible at home? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't yet, I would love it if you could hit that subscribe button to stay notified for all future videos. Other than that, I will see you all in my next video.